You know how China has that like social score thing that everybody was talking about, how it monitors you and all this other shit, right? And your social score is based off of like how you act and what you do and this, that, and the other. Technically, that's not a bad thing if you're just a good person, right? If the rules aren't taken too far. See, our country is used to being manipulated all the time. What if it wasn't, though? What if it wasn't? Then would you be okay with it? I think it's funny when people are like, hell no, fuck it. You know what I mean? You know why it's funny? Because one, if you ain't doing nothing bad, then who cares? Two, it's already happening to you. Fool, you just ain't got a score for it. It's funny because they're always like, dude, you know they're watching through that iPhone, right? It's like, well, it's called an iPhone. It kind of implements that in the name. But here's my question, right? What for? Why is there a human calculator in your hand? Why does it want to know about you? There's obviously a lot of motherfuckers out there probably, the same ones that's like, yo, the feds are watching it. And yeah, they still have the phone in their hand. They know that they could be watched through the phone. And a lot of them are doing illegal activity and they're still not getting caught. So if that's the case, then what is it for? Well, if I thought that. But we do know something about the iPhone. We do know that they always change the camera quality. And the stuff that scans your face, right? The most complex thing on your face that could be scanned, or it needs higher definition and depth to get an even more clear picture of, would be what? Your eyeball. Right? Okay. Now watch this. Now let's think about evolution of humans. Let's say evolution is, because some people don't believe in evolution, but let's just take their idea of evolution, right? Okay. Well, we've changed a lot since we were Neanderthals, right? What's the only thing on your entire body that has not evolved the entire time? Your eyes. Now, some might say, well, our eyes don't need to evolve. I mean, if you think so, whatever. Some might say, well, technically eyes have evolved because the perception and the light and how... Okay, pause. Nobody gives a fuck. There was not anybody around to collect eyeball data, okay? There was no caves. They're like, hey, you want to go to the eye doctor? But to the people who say they don't need to evolve or can't evolve, yes, they can. They already have. That's why blind people, you know the blind guy that can make the clicking noise and he can kind of like tell the area of the room? That's evolution of eyes, because that's making vision when you have no vision. And some people might say, well, then that's technically that wouldn't be your eyes evolving then. It'd be your brain. I mean, yeah, but your eyes are directly connected to your brain. So technically it is, because it's a secondary form of vision. But look, why does evolution happen? It's because our body is disagreeing with whatever activity we either have to do or want to do over a long period of time. Okay? Well, some people say, well, what would be the reason for our eyes to have to evolve? I don't know. What do your eyes disagree with? Right? Some people might say, well, they'll evolve if it has to do with the sun and the moon, whatever, like light and dark. Yeah, possibly. I can see that. But what do we see all the time that we disagree with? The news, propaganda, all this shit, right? Okay, well, if brains, or if eyes have been watching that for such a long time and disagreeing with it, then I believe your eyes will evolve in a way to identify that kind of stuff extremely easy. So what if, since the eyes are the thing that hasn't evolved in forever, what if it don't mean they don't evolve? What if it means they're on the verge of evolving? Hell, what if it means there's people on Earth already that theirs already have evolved? And maybe the iPhone is looking for, well, people who have those sets of eyes. Because think about it, when an iPhone is scanning your face, right, and collecting data, it's using different components. It's using the camera, it's using the microphone, it's using shaders, it's using light, all that, right? Well, so is your body. When you look at something, but your components are different. You use sound. Obviously, you have to have light. You're using your gut instinct. You're using your fight or flight. You're using all these different components. You are doing the same thing as the cameras do it. Hell, you are a camera. You're a walking lens. Hell, you got two of them. And when and if eyes do evolve, I think it's going to give people, by definition, a supernatural version of interpretation of whatever they're looking at, or a wider span of ideas of what they're looking at. And I honestly think that people are going to be able to look at inventions and artifacts and hieroglyphs, and they're going to be able to read them even if they don't know the language, just based off of their supernatural version of interpretation. And some people might think, hey, well, that's technically theorizing. Well, it's theorizing if you don't know that that's true, or you don't know that is how something happened, or that is how something was made. Then you theorize. I'm talking about motherfuckers being able to look at something and tell you exactly what the guy was thinking that made the invention that you don't know nothing about. That's what I think. And for anybody, it's like, man, that's far-fetched. Hey, man, look. People theorize about what the hieroglyphs say, and pretty much they just highlight who the best guesser is. So, I mean, and I'll give you kind of an example of what I mean. Like, obviously, it's going to be way more advanced than what I'm about to tell you, but, like, I mean, I'm not saying I have this. I'm just theorizing about the future, okay? Look. So, anyways, an example of what I mean is, like, you know when you hear the old phrase, dot your I's and cross your T's? Okay, well, in Collins Dictionary, according to that, dot your I's and cross your T's means pretty much pay attention to the task that you're doing, right? Okay, well, to me, when I hear dot my I's and cross my T's, I think, well, what the a dot is a period, which is made with a point. If I stab my eyes with a point, then I'm going to be blind. Well, that's stupid. And if I cross a T, a T's already crossed, so technically that'd be double crossed. So stab my eyes out and double cross myself? Oh, don't fuck up. Oh, okay. So the actual meaning in Collins Dictionary is, hey, watch what you're doing. Pay attention. Right? Well, on the other hand, dot your I's and cross your T's is the worst thing that could happen. So it's pretty much someone joking with you going, hey, you better not fuck up, or you'll be the other version of dot your I's and cross your T's. Also, another way I interpret this is, okay, they say dot your I's and cross your T's. Okay. Well, if you have to cross the T to make it a T, then technically the T before you cross it is a capital I. And if I don't put a dot above a lowercase I, it's just a smaller version of the capital. Wait a minute, what? Lowercase? Uppercase? Yes. So don't forget, now this would lead me to, there weren't just churches and aren't just churches. In other countries, there is a low church and a high church. Just like a lowercase and an uppercase. We could go on forever. This goes on forever, right? And I know some might think, well, how the hell is that linked together? Well, we're talking about language, and we're talking about how it's observed, right? Okay, well, let's talk about language then. Specifically scripts. Well, look at all the different Bibles that are in the world, yet they all seem to have the same story, right? Okay, well, that's kind of one and the same, but they're all different. But we have to read a form of Bible, right? Okay, well, if this is the one true story, apparently, well, why ain't it called a unibble? Wait, time out. You mean we live in a universe? You know what a verse is. You know what uni means. Uni means one. So you tell me we live in one script that has a bunch of scripts that are technically the same. Do you see where I'm going with this? Somebody probably a really long time ago, realized what color's done to people. Then they were like, wait a minute. Then they experimented with loud and soft, and then different keys, like tenor keys, like speaking, or in like music. What do you know, music? And maybe this person ran an experiment that was, and I'm talking like a long time ago, like probably, I'm thinking like 1600s, 1500s, right? Maybe they ran this thing so long, and maybe one day they just croaked, so it was left unfinished. I mean, what is it? Come on now. Come on. And that had to do with televisions and stuff. Well, there's televisions in our hands now. Yay. And to wrap this all up, look at the two major sides of belief. A lot of people believe in science. A lot of people are religious. Science doesn't technically believe in the same things religion does. It doesn't base it off faith. It bases it off quote unquote facts. Yeah, bullshit. And yeah, vice versa. They're both opposite, right? No, they're not. So in Christianity, the universe began by God saying, let there be light, right? Well, if he said, let there be light, that's sound. Science over here says, well, no, it was a big bang. Oh, what do you know? Another sound. So you both think it was sound, but you both say f*** you to each other. All right. Not only that, what the f*** does it actually mean when they're like, scientists said that something is scary. Scientists say the world's ending. The scientist said that? Oh, nice. Do you know what a scientist is by definition? Y'all can go look this up. For real. A scientist, by definition, is a person who is studying at least one thing that is natural or physical in the world around us. So yes, an infant baby is a scientist. Yes. So the scientist said, what scientist? Is it the mother who just has a YouTube channel that they're trying to f*** up? Or is it actually somebody who's got some sense? Because a scientist could mean a ton of things. So when you ask me which one is more accurate, I'm going to have to go with the Bible. But here's the thing. The Bible is still up. It's also been cut in half and been added in and taken out. It's how, what did they say? It's how you interpret the Bible. Okay. Well, when someone like myself interprets it and it's like, hey guys, you might be doing a lot of the wrong shit. They're like, deem him to hell. It's like, you said interpret the Bible. And the reason I think the Bible is more accurate than science, even though the Bible's been all f***ed up too, is because science indicates people are in the act of observing something for the first time. The Bible indicates it has already been observed a ton of times. Therefore, there's something about the Bible that is way more authentic and real than science. Because all science is somebody guessing about something. And hell, it could be an infant baby for all you know, by definition. But I'll leave you on that, all right?